Okay then guys, here we go. We're on the 110 service now from Tamworth to Birmingham. Now originally we were going to be doing the service 76 over to Sutton Coldfield through Coleshill, but obviously due to unforeseen circumstances we've decided to not do the service as we've turned out to be a 76B bound for Hurley, which used to be the old number 15 route. So we have now switched onto the Arriva ARR110 service to them. So this is one of the major routes in Tamworth, and it was the former Midland Red North service. Bus we have is a VDL SP200 drive Pulsar, similar to the ones that you'd find over at Arriva and Telford, and also Arriva up in Leicester. So here we go, we're just coming out of Tamworth and going to Birmingham. I could reschedule to do the 76 at one point, but obviously we just have to find out if I can do that service, because there was a lot of routes that didn't go according to plan, and that was one of them. But obviously, very thank you. A little bit sorry I couldn't do it, but obviously at least we got the Arriva service now all the way to Birmingham. So yeah, and it's not letting us ruin our day, not at all. Anyway, here's the Tamworth Arms pub. There's a street light on the 76, and that apparently is actually bound, I think it's bound for Sutton Coldfield. Obviously I couldn't get on it unfortunately, so I'm having to do this bus bound for Birmingham. So there's the Ventura Shopping Park with the Astor Super Santa. There's Virgin Holidays inside next. Tamworth's also home to the Snow Dome as well, indoor snowboarding building. So there's New Rock, of course there's a Boots, H&M, Sports Direct, Food Warehouse by Iceland, River Island next, WH Smith's, Go Outdoors. It's all part of JD Sports, Marks and Spencer's, M&S. It's only a single store. And there's the ground tourist sign for Dragmar Park. And there's Asda over there, which has a Decathlon tenant within the store. So as you know, this through Bromsgrove. If you remember that route, the 144 Birmingham to Worcester, from our first bus back in the day, but obviously first bus no longer come to Birmingham, and that lost the Bromsgrove link. And speaking of the Bromsgrove link, National Express West Midlands is going to be running the Bromsgrove link from Birmingham from the 1st of June. There'll be the X20 replacing the 20 from Curie Hospital to Bromsgrove, and will be operated from Birmingham Central. And it's nice to see that Birmingham is getting a Worcestershire bus service back already. They've got 2 services into, well, they've got 3 services into Staffordshire, with this only one being not a National Express but operated by Riva. 110 bound for Birmingham. So National Express operate 2 Staffordshire services from Birmingham, and that's the X51 through Bournemouth, through Cannock, and the X3 through Sutton Coldfield and into Lichfield. So here we go. Okay then, guys, we are doing the journey on the 110 service bound for Birmingham. So we're on our way to Birmingham, and I just hope you enjoy the journey. Now, most of this is partially covered virtually, well, on a live stream, but I might redo this journey, but it'll probably be from Birmingham more than likely, if I make another visit to Tamworth again. But who knows, anything is possible. Yes, anything is definitely possible. Never write it off. So here we go, on our way over to Birmingham. So here we are. Okay then, guys, here we go. We're on our way now to Birmingham on the 110 service from Tamworth. And as you probably know, the 110 service is mainly worked by double-decker vehicles. But however, on this occasion, we got a Pulsar. Yes, we got a VDL SB200 Pulsar. And on our Citaro has worked the service. I remember the Citaro's doing it. And also, mainly it's a double-decker operated route with the 400s. Street lights have done the 110 back then, but obviously Tamworth doesn't have any street lights, I don't think, anymore. And I just hope you enjoy the journey as we go all the way to Birmingham. And so we've had a good time. We were going to do the 76 over to Sutton Coldfield, but unfortunately a spanner was put in the works, which was a bit unfortunate, because obviously with the 76 being on these diversions and road closures, roadworks, it did cause a bit of a knock effect, and we thought that the bus pulled in before 2:10 was to be the 76 bound for Sutton Coldfield, but sadly it turned out not to be the case, as it was the 76B going over to Hurley, which is nowhere near Sutton Coldfield. And that used to be the old 15, the Tamworth local service. And hope you're enjoying the journey, and shout out to my lovely subscribers, the Wolverhampton bus lad, and all the other favourite subscribers. So we will be making more videos soon. Yes, we will. Fingers crossed. We got loads of things wrapped up for you this week, so it's going to be very exciting, and I cannot wait to share it with you all. So we'll soon be on our way to Sutton Coldfield, and then we'll head over to Birmingham. And as you know, Tamworth is the territory for Arriva, but obviously you do have Diamond services serving Tamworth because they run the most of the local services like the 76, 76B, and also they do the 20, but that's from the Midland Classic Garage at the former Midland Classic Garage in Burton. And as well as that, they also do a handful of other services, like the 66, and I know they used to operate the X16 from Tamworth Estates into Birmingham, but that stopped in 2022 due to low patronage, and it was actually temporarily suspended in 2020. And as well as that, the 110s, Diamond do also operate a service called the NMI, which means the National Memorial Arboretum, which goes to the Arboretum, and that's worked by Mercedes-Benz Sprinter LS bus. And I've been on a lot of the LS buses so far this year, like the 64 from Wednesbury to West Brom, the 24 from Blackheath to Merry Hill, and even to Blackheath, and even the 231 from Blackheath to Halzowen, and also 13 last year from Halzowen to Merry Hill via the Fatherless Barn. Also had it on the 24H from Merry Hill to Halzowen. So I've been riding the LS buses. They are very nice, but the only problem is, even though the leg room is a bit tight, but obviously they are bang up to date. They are a bit narrow compared to the standard buses, but obviously they put them on those certain routes also down to the demand of use. Even though the legroom's not that very good, it is a little bit tight, but obviously, as you know, most buses don't have the best legroom, but as long as you get to your destination, all that matters. And obviously, as you know, I'll have to mute my original voiceover on the minibus, on those minibuses, because obviously blasting copyright music out, because obviously I don't have the rights. I don't own the rights to the music, even though I don't own the rights, but obviously it still doesn't work, because obviously I'll still end up with a copyright strike, so I have to just be careful when I'm uploading things like that. So anyway, let's continue on our journey to Birmingham. Anyway, just passing, here's the street light on the 76 bound for Sutton Coldfield, which was the one. past on the Tamworth service. Now, Drag Manor is one of the most famous rides at Drag Manor was the Apocalypse Drop Tower, but sadly that closed due to the fact it was up for sale, so the ride has now gone. So we're now going through the countryside as we are heading all the way out from Tamworth, all the way to Birmingham. Going on there, the construction of a new road or something, I don't know. Okay then, here we are at Bassett's Pole, and we're on our way towards Birmingham. So this is the A453 that will take us all the way to Birmingham. So we'll soon be coming under the TFWM boundary as this boundary will then reach the TFWM after crossing the whole of Staffordshire. Oh, sorry. Anyway, we just crossed the M6 toll road. So that means we'll soon be arriving into Sutton Coldfield. Now, Sutton Coldfield has one main department store now, House of Fraser. Back then you had M&S, which had to close sadly in 2019. And also you had BHS, which closed in 2016 because of the business going into administration that year. And it was such a sad time for BHS to go under, because BHS had been trading on the high street for many years. When the 2000s came along, well, obviously before 2000, it merged with Habitat and Mothercare to form Storehouse PLC.
and then it was sold in 2000 to Sir Philip Green of Arcadia Group. And obviously he continued the success of the business before selling it for £1 to Retail Acquisitions in 2015, with a year later with the company going under. So it was such a sad time for BHS to close. And the BHS here in Sutton Coldfield is set to become Harvey Norman. Yes, the second Midlands branch, with the first being at the Merry Hill. But the Merry Hill, with it being its flagship store. But obviously this will be where Harvey Norman's new base will be. So I can show you where exactly it will be going here at the, so it's with at the Gracechurch Shopping Centre. So that's the old BHS. That's set to be replaced by Harvey Norman. So exciting that someone's finally taken over after a few years of it being on after a few years of it being empty. It's nice to see the unit being turned back into reality again. So it is interesting to finally see someone taking over again, because BHS has been here for many years, but obviously BHS did collapse, so it no longer exists. The only trade, well, BHS still trades online, but it's more like a furniture type. Obviously BHS was the best places. As you know, BHS was very good for its lighting and homewares. Fashion then started to roll in, and people getting their school uniform. When you're dragged by your mum and dad to get your school uniform back then. And also you'd meet your nan and granddad in the cafeteria if you bought some clothes. And then during the mid-2000s, like in the 2010s, BHS started selling food. Cheap food, that low quality stuff that you'll probably get in a news agents or corner shop in an emergency. Obviously BHS did have food back then when they used to have the counters, but so anyway, time actually lives on now. So BHS went bust in 2016, closed their stores. Most of the stores were taken on by Primark and also other retailers, but some of them are still lying empty. Like the Sutton Coldfield one is set to be taken over. The branch in Coventry, I don't know what's going to be happening with that one. It might remain empty for some time, because I know there's a handful of empty BHS units that haven't been touched for a long time. So I don't think what's going. I can doubt what might replace them at the moment. Like BHS had a branch over in Birmingham, but obviously BHS Birmingham closed, and now that's become a H&M. And BHS actually had two linked stores together in Birmingham. You had one from one side, and then you on like Bull Street, and then leading onto New Street. So it was like a dedicated store. But obviously times do change, don't they? So you don't have choice. So you'd either go with the business. But obviously BHS has changed now. There's no large scale stores anymore. It's like the branch in Wolverhampton, that's now become TJ Hughes. It was Wilko up until 2023. And then the upper levels occupied by B&M, and B&M has taken on a handful of ex-BHS stores. And I do remember BHS. I do miss BHS. I have to say, I do miss BHS. Also, BHS in Southport, that's still empty after nearly a few years. It was 2016 when BHS closed. It was 2020 when the council were trying to fill the BHS. And then you had Debenhams closing in 2020, and then Beale's closing, because Beale's went into administration at the same time when they were discussing on the future of Southport. And then Beals then reopened under new management in 2021, but obviously just to focus on local businesses. But obviously that didn't really last long, as 2024 Beals closed its Southport store, with Peterborough closing earlier, and then finally the last one in Poole, which is set to close in at the end of this month, which is actually next week. And there's going to be a bit of a documentary video about Beals, so I'm really going to miss that chain. It's going to be such an emotional time. Sadly, I can't get down there to say my farewells, but obviously Beals won't be missed. So we're now going along the Aston Expressway, and this is going to take us into Birmingham. And Birmingham is like the business district, and also it's like where most bus depots meet up with one another. So for National Express West Midlands, you got Pensnett, West Bromwich, Birmingham Central, Yardley Wood, Acox Green, Perry Bar, Warsaw, West Brom, Coventry, and also Diamond. You got Redditch and Tividale. Sadly, Kidderminster don't come to Birmingham, so that's the only depot out Diamond that doesn't come to Birmingham. And so here we are, just now arriving into the city of Birmingham. So this is Birmingham City. So here we are. Welcome to Birmingham City Centre. Thank you for riding.